Chamath Palihapitiya is quickly becoming a legendary investor who has recently been gaining fame and notoriety for his huge bets on Tesla, Bitcoin, and Amazon. Chamath and his fund, Social Capital, has seen unbelievable success over the last 10 years, with year-on-year returns outpacing that of even the GOAT of investing, Warren Buffett himself.
I'm about to publish our annual investor letter, and I'll just preview it to you for a second. Our returns are bananas, okay? I've made more in the last 8 years compared to the S&P than Buffett did in the first 8 years of Berkshire. Buffett did 1,000 points of alpha. I did 1,800 points of alpha. My returns are double Buffett's.
But who is this modern-day Warren Buffett? What lessons can we learn from his investing style, and what is he currently investing in today? Chamath is a Sri Lankan-born Canadian refugee whose family moved to Canada when Chamath was just 6 years old. Chamath says himself that he is a product of social safety nets. Chamath's family were initially on welfare once making the move from Sri Lanka from Canada, and they were granted refugee status by the Canadian government. It was these social safety nets that would help mold Chamath's investment style and values for the future. Before going on to found Social Capital, Chamath would hold high-level positions at Facebook and IBM, helping them to grow into the behemoth companies they now are. Chamath started Social Capital because he had a suspicion venture capitalists and hedge fund managers had just been lucky and making money was easy.
I was running, until we shut it down, top 2% hedge fund in the world, and I was doing it an hour a week. Yeah. I mean, it was an enormous amount of money, but I literally spent an hour a week doing that job, and it was a top 2% hedge fund.
Right.
Chamath wanted to make a hedge fund that invested into real innovative and game-changing companies. He wanted to make money to divert it into the biggest challenges humans face, including climate change, renewable energy, space, and healthcare. Here's a clip that showcases Chamath's character well. He's a no-crap, anti-hedge fund manager. He hates the ridiculous jargon that finance guys love to throw around.
My name is Apurv. I saw some of the venture world at SoftBank, some of the tech world, and you said something about amassing capital. Today, what do you think is one of the best ways for us to amass capital on a risk-adjusted basis?
I mean, the last part is just such a sellout part. A risk-adjusted base. I don't know, fucking buy some bonds? I mean, I don't know. Here's what I would tell you, man. I think if you ask me who's building the most important, indelible company in the world, I've been very public about this, I think it's Jeff Bezos.
The first lesson we can learn from Chamath's investing is the idea of slow compounding. Chamath calls himself a disciple of Buffett, so this first lesson comes as no surprise. Too many investors fall into the trap of trying to get rich quick or to take on too much risk because not enough is happening with their portfolio. Remember, it's a marathon and not a sprint. Here's a clip of Chamath explaining this concept further.
Part of what he realized was the value of slow compounding. So here's my little theory about company value creation. The faster you build it, that is the half-life. It will get destroyed in the same amount of time. And so when you think about a lot of like social businesses, that's played out. And when you see sort of like what the top, so like, you know, does it take 8, 9, 10 years to build a really great consumer business? It'll take 8, 9, 10, 12 years to destroy it. And we may see the tipping point on a couple of these businesses. Right now, we may be seeing it in front of our eyes, regulatory or otherwise. So why is that an important statement? Amassing capital, to me, is about finding a smart, useful solution to a very hard, practical problem and being slow and methodical. And again, this is what I'm saying. You have to rewire your brain for that to be okay.
The second lesson we can learn from Chamath's investing style is the concept that category winners will continue to win. Chamath invests in huge companies that have clearly defined themselves as the category winner, as 99% of the time they will continue to win. Companies such as Amazon or Tesla. Investors oftentimes fall into the trap of investing into the next best thing once the category winner has already been defined, as they believe the category winner share price is too expensive or inflated, which loses them out on returns long term. Here's a clip of Chamath explaining this concept in the scope of why he only buys Bitcoin and not Ethereum or any other altcoin.
Well, I was also curious, so do you see merit in any of the other crypto assets, in particular Ethereum?
No.
And why not?
You know, it's kind of like when you have a bellwether instrument. The gains typically go to the winner. So I'll use an equity example to make the case. When Obamacare passed, there was going to be a clear tailwind to health insurance. And, you know, you could have bought a basket of health insurers, or you could have just bought United Healthcare. And the basket would have performed okay. United Healthcare 10x'd in the last 10 years. If you believed in smartphones, you could have bought a basket of things in 2010 or 2008 or 9 when the iPhone first got released. You could have bought Nokia and Motorola and Samsung and HTC, or you could have just bought Apple. And Apple, frankly, just crushed everybody else. The point is that in any market, when there's a clear winner, it's not that these other things can't win, but there's a weird psychological effect that almost drives these second and third tier winners, which is a desire by people almost out of this sense of insecurity to not want to admit that there's a winner simply because they weren't the one to pick it first. And so what they do is they create these convoluted narratives and theses to basically anoint other winners. And yeah, can they win? Sure. But do they ever win like the category killer? No. I mean, do you really want to be long Lycos and DuckDuckGo, or did you just want to be long Google? There has been not a single market where you've been rewarded as handsomely for being long the number 2, 3, and 4 player as you are for being long the number 1 player.